Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Maxwell Acee Donovan about Gabby and the Unsittables on Disney Channel. Thank you for doing this. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. Good to officially meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, you have some really cool movie posters in the back. Is it safe to say that this was something you wanted to do as soon as you started watching movies and everything when you were at a young age, Max?
I mean, basically, it was like a family tradition to as soon as we could sit up, go to the movies. And I didn't really even notice until we moved out to LA and I started acting. But my entire life, like every significant moment has been outlined by movies.
Yeah.
And, like, we went on a family vacation to Utah once. And the one thing that I remember is this cool movie museum in like the basement of this ranch. It was like, oh, I guess I was meant to be in this.
Do you know what your favorite movie is of all time? Like, do you have a top three? I think
I'll do top three.
Yeah, do you have a top three? Okay, go for it.
I think, well, I love Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Yeah, my mom made me wait until I was 16 to watch it. She's like, it's a coming of age movie, and then I watched it on my 16th birthday, and I am obsessed.
Yeah.
So that I as you can tell, I'm obsessed with like Deadpool and pretty much every movie on planet Earth. But I think my other favorite is Pulp Fiction, and kind of tied with Django Unchained. I'm a huge fan of Tarantino.
Oh.
And so I'm going to count those as one. And then my third one is going to be Cars, the Pixar movie.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
That's like a solid list. No, for sure. It's always hard. Like, I finally figured out like what my favorite movie of all time is School of Rock with Jack Black. That's my favorite one.
That is
but
such
it took me a while to like figure out what my favorite, because I like
School of Rock, I can barely even narrow it down to three. I mean, I said four. So.
Like School of Rock, Napoleon Dynamite, and Animal House, National Lampoon's Animal House classic. Those are like my three big ones. Yeah. It is amazing. No, movies are great. We're talking TV though. Of course, you're on Gabby and the Unsittables on Disney Channel. You of course play Wes. I mean, we talked about it right before we started. I mean, how much fun is it to play this character? I mean, this is just. He's a blast. He's a good time.
Exactly, yeah. He is such a fun character to play. I mean, every episode, his hijinks get crazier and crazier, especially this season. And like, I mean, he gets into situations that I don't know how the writers think it up, but it's genius. And it's so much fun to be on set. And I'm like on an alien planet and I'm going and watching the sunset. It's insane. And it's so much fun. Every day on set is just like the best day ever, and it one-ups each other every single day.
And I think this is a testament to your acting and what you do. But like, one of my favorite things about Wes is the facial expression. If you know what I mean, right? Like,
I just get to go all out with it, and it's so fun because I mean, sometimes I'll be like behind the camera while we're shooting like Nathan or Kylie's coverage, and I'll just be making even more ridiculous faces than I do on screen.
Yeah,
and I think we probably have like a 4-hour blooper reel of just all of us cracking up. It's a fun set to be on.
I'll tell you what I find very interesting about this show, because the Disney Channel series with the family, the friends, everyone around the neighborhood. It's been there, we've seen them, we watched them all, right?
Right.
But this is a very unique concept. Like, it's a unique kind of storyline about babysitting, aliens, like people. Like, it's just, I mean, is it safe to say that's something that you kind of noticed when you were talking to your parents, your team, that, I'm going to be in a Disney Channel show, but I'm going to be in like a pretty different, unique Disney Channel show?
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about it. We're so lucky to be on. I think it's one of the only single cam Disney shows out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a different experience from like multicam. I did some work on Bunked. I was the illegal candy buyer on it. It's such a different experience going from like a multicam show to this single cam where we have crazy special effects and visual effects. There was this one scene that we shot on like in the upcoming episode on like a 40-foot blue screen.
Yeah.
And it was just like the whole room, everywhere you looked, was just this blue screen. And it's incredible. And it's a very unique show in that like every episode is huge, and we've got these crazy aliens and these amazing makeup effects.
Yeah,
and
it's very big scale, 100%.
Yeah, it's huge scale. Yeah, it feels like we're shooting a mini movie every week.
It's interesting too. Yeah, that's a good. But I feel like that. Okay, what you just said right there, though, I feel like is the perfect way to. Like, that's what TV is these days,
right? Yeah.
So
I know. I got
big.
so excited with the Emmy noms. I'm like, yes, they nominated everything I wanted to be nominated.
Yeah, we've got like I mean, it's yeah, it's true. Like we're big fans of Cobra Kai. We interviewed the whole cast. They got nominated. I was so excited about that. Like it's so true. Yeah, no, it's we're definitely in a great time for TV right now.
Golden age.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. What's your favorite thing about working on Gabby Duran and the Unsittables? Is there something that stands out? There's obviously going to be a lot of things. This is like the movie question, right? Where you can't just pick one.
About $1 billion. Well, I mean, I think one of the best parts, especially with season 2, because we shot like I think we shot 5 episodes before COVID, and then the rest of the 21 after, or well during, and it was like so incredible to have that family. Like I think there were like almost 200 people in the crew and the cast, and everyone was like a big family, and we were all there to support each other, and it was really nice during COVID. So I'd say for second season that was probably my favorite thing. But I mean, just like I said, everything is so huge scale, and we've got these visual effects, and they let me shadow sometimes, because I go to the LA County High School for the Arts for cinematics. And so they let me shadow behind the camera, and I got to like see how the directors work, how the visual effects supervisor works, and all of these different aspects that I would have no idea about. And I think that was especially possible this season because we were all sort of like one big family.
Well, that was legit my next question. It's almost like you read my mind. I mean, like you're acting in this show, but you know, people are gravitating towards wearing many hats in the entertainment industry. You're having people act. They also go behind the camera as well. So my question was, are you interested in doing behind the scenes stuff too? Directing, writing? And I feel like the answer is yes.
All of the above. Yeah. If I can, I'm there. I love being on a set, and no matter what like medium that is, being behind the camera, in front of it, I just love being there and working in the industry, as evidenced by my many movie posters.
I feel like if you go back to Gabby Duran, I mean, Wes is there for, you know, the comic relief in some, so to speak. Like that's where he's there, and that's important. That's a really important part of like a sitcom, right? Is there a little bit of pressure sometimes when you're doing table reads where it's like you're the guy? Kind of depending.
Well, it's funny because like during the table reads, some of them were on Zoom this year because we were conferencing everyone in from California because we shoot up in Vancouver. And I was like trying to unmute myself and get the timing right, and I could hear Nathan through the wall because our trailers were back to back, and I could hear him do the joke, and then it came through on the Zoom, and I was like, oh god, I gotta respond. But it was an interesting experience. I think that the table reads came out pretty well, but
absolutely. But it's true though, because that is like when we watch sitcoms, whether they're shows on Disney Channel or other networks as well, I mean, there's always that character who's there for like the jokes, the awkward, the goofiness, and that's you in this show.
I love it. Thank you.
And it's just like, it feels like, I feel like it's kind of like with great power comes great responsibility. I feel like you have a very important role on the show in that regard. Have you ever thought about that at all?
Wow. I mean, I hadn't really thought about it that way, but
you're like, thanks.
That's a nice way of putting it. Wow, that's a nice way of putting it. Thank you. I mean, I think like for me, I whenever I show up to set, my sister is kind of like my own personal coach. She's fantastic, and she helps me prepare for set every day and like run my lines with me. And so when I get there, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do my lines, but in like okay, that sounded a little different than what I actually do. I memorize my lines only to the point where I'm like able to have them in my head, and then I go into set and I'm like, whatever they do is what I respond off of. And so like, especially when I'm acting across from Nathan, he just goes all out. I mean, he's insane and hilarious. And he sometimes does these things that aren't even in the script. He's amazing at improv, and I'm like responding off of this, and I'm like, okay, Wesley, you got this. I have to figure out how Wesley's gonna respond to that, and it's a ton of fun.
Well, like when you were reading for Wesley, going in for the character, did they tell you about like what it is? Like, it's like the best friend, like he's goofy. Like, was there like, what were they giving you to work with a little bit?
Well, Wesley, actually, he's changed quite a bit since we initially, when I initially started auditioning, and even up till when we shot the pilot.
Yeah.
He was, I just remember in the first audition, he was described as a young Nick Miller. Yep. And I love New Girl, so I was like, oh, okay, this is my thing. And he was like really conspiratorial and all like grunge, and it was a really different character. And as the chemistry reads progressed, I think there were like 8 or 9 rounds of auditions for Gabby Duran, and like 3 months later the character had changed quite a bit, and so he sort of evolved with me, and that was a really unique experience because I got to build a character during the audition process, and then when we got to shoot the pilot, I already had like a lot more character work done on him than I think I would have otherwise.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Yeah. Before we wrap up, quick question too. The obvious answer to this question is you hope they enjoy it. It's a sitcom. It's fun. Gabby, Duran, the Unsittables on Disney Channel. But diving deep into it a little bit more, when they watch it, what are you hoping they get out of it?
Well, like you said, I hope that people have fun and it's like a good place to go and laugh. And I think with our show, since it's on Disney Channel, I think it's really cool that like families can sit down and watch it every Friday night. And this is from a completely unbiased perspective. My family and I love sitting down every Friday night and watching it. I think that is a really unique thing to be able to do and go in there and like be a hopefully good role model for kids as they watch this show and laugh and grow up on it. I think of like top of the I don't know what word I'm looking for. At the top of it, I hope that people like just find a good escape and a good like fun place to go. And I think a really unique thing about our show, especially second season, we tackle a lot of issues in sort of like a palatable way.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to be able to bring these things like children and family show, and that we get to like have fun and show these things in a way that people are like, oh, that makes sense, and here's how it applies to my life. And I guess that's
absolutely. Max, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really enjoyed chatting with you.
Thank you. This was awesome. It was really great talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Friday,
we have similar movie tastes. I feel like we gotta like send each other.
I just love like your background with like there's just so many good ones, and
and each poster has like 2 or 3 other posters behind it because I went all out when I bought them. I got them for our schoolroom up in Canada, and I should try to find a photo of it. I had like a billion posters everywhere. You couldn't even see the wall anymore. I don't honestly know what color the wall was anymore. It was just these.
Amazing. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
It's at Mad Max Donovan, and it's Mad Max because my initials are MAD, Maxwell.
It's not Mad Max also because you're a big movie guy.
I think inadvertently that works out.
But you understand what I was thinking, right? Like,
yeah, I think my mom purposely did that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I know she did because she told me the other day that she did. Oh, and my other one is I have a shared account with my sister. It's Double Donovan. I think there might be a period between.
Yes,
Double
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We do a little show every week, or we did. We fell behind a little bit when we got back to LA because we've been moving, but
for sure. And people could watch you as Wesley in Gabby Duran, the Unsittables on Disney Channel.
Woo!
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Every Friday night.
Every Friday night. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Maxwell Acee Donovan from Gabby Duran, the Unsittables on Disney Channel, and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.